Afternoon, everybody. Do you sometimes have those days where you think, where's it gone? What have I actually done today? I suppose we're all having a lot of those at the moment. And now things are changing and people starting to go back to work. I mean, my high street this morning coming round was almost like a Saturday in town. It was good, but a little bit weird. And you think, gosh, how's things happening now? So yeah, I'm in that little bit of a dream world today, I think. I've got a really nice, I'm thinking it's a nice tile planned for you today. And I'm hoping you're going to enjoy it. And I've got a few extra bits and pieces with me. So I'm not expecting for 1 minute that you're going to suddenly start getting out coloured pencils and inks and things. But I just wanted today to show you that you can use your tiles, yes, to go in your journal. And I really promote that, as you well know. But to also make a card. So I thought we'd have a look at that and go a little bit further into bringing your tangling into your crafting, if that's okay. I mean, by all means, we stop at the tile and I'll show you a few extra bits, but let's just see how we go, shall we? So hello there. Hi, everybody. It's really lovely to have you. And as you can see, I've waffled a little bit just to give you a chance to write your name and the date and the number of the tile today. And you'll notice also, yeah, I've got an orange tile here, but I've also got another coloured tile. I've got the lighter brown. It's the sand colour from the tobacco brown sand and cream set. And yeah, you can see I've cut a section out there because I'm going to be working with this, but I'm also going to use this as well as a helping hand. But I'm going to start on my orange tile, so my large one. Oh, hey, welcome back, Garth. Now you've got your computer up and running. It's lovely that you're back. Deborah, hi. Sue, Gracie, hi everybody. So yeah, so I'm going to start with my orange and I'm just going to use this as a straight edge just to give me a hand. There we go. All right, and let's just line it up. Remember me saying I'll actually line the bottom up, and then I know that the line I'm going to draw here is pretty straight. There we go. So you see there, I've got about, I don't know, let's have a look. A pen and a half, maybe 2 pens, just to give you an idea where I'm putting that line in. There we go, got a line in. And then next to it, I'm going to do another one, not as wide this time. So there we go, with a line in there. Okay. Oh, hi there, everybody. Oh, brilliant. It's like the gang's back together again. So then I'm going to give myself a little bit of a wider gap. See, it's a little bit wider than this one, but again, it doesn't matter. So don't worry about it. It's just I'm just splitting my space up, like we would normally. And then again, this one here, I'm going to sort of repeat there. So it's almost like a really broad. Oh dear, it's like a really broad ribbon, isn't it? I'll do something with that in a bit. Not to worry. Okay. Oh, hi Jodie, hi Rose. All right, first things first then, let's deal with this little strip here. Straight back in with a pen. And it's a pattern that we've done numerous times. We start with a dot, and around we go. There we go, see? To there. And then the next one, and in we go. I'm just going to go until I can get to the ends there and then start the next one. And I'm going to fill this little strip in with this shape. And next one. Now, it doesn't matter what colour tile you work with. It really is up to you. So you can stay with the traditional cream tile. You can use a black one with a white pen or a gold pen if you like. Or any of the variety of colours, whatever you want to do. I'll explain, or I'll show you why I've sort of chose orange. I've already looked at, my backing papers, and what have I got, what would I like to use, and I've chosen a colour that sort of works with that really. And again, because I've used 2 different colour tiles, it doesn't mean you have to. You can use the same colour. It just shows that there are various options. It's entirely up to you what you want to do. Well, it would look nice, wouldn't it, with maybe the dark or the light blue together, or the pink and the hot pink and kind of thing. Okay, so you see that I've done that shape there? Oh, you're welcome. So I'm ever so glad you got it, Susan. Yeah. Panic over, there we go. Yeah, parcels seem to be getting through now anyway, so it's hopefully it's, you know, resumed service, maybe. I do try and get them out as quickly as possible. I've actually today, John, bless him, I've left him in the other side of the building. He's packing. Thank you, we've got some orders in, so everything's there, and he's just putting them in envelopes. And then I'll go in and I'll put the addresses on, so hopefully we can get them to the post office before 4 o'clock today. Get them out to you. I do try, because I know, you know, when you order something, to be honest, it's nice to go into to a shop and buy it, isn't it? But if you can't, you've got to order it, then you've brought it and you want it. I know I do. And you think, oh, I've got to wait. So I really do try and get them out quickly. Because I know you want to get started. There we go. And speaking of getting started, it's you know, I've spent the last couple of evenings on a border, on a frame for the moon sort of wreath that I did. And I posted that early if you've not seen it. I'm so pleased with it. I have actually ordered a frame, so I think I'm going to frame that one. I might put it up in the office somewhere. Okay, see this early little mark. I'm not worried about that. We'll fill it up again in a minute. So if you find if on one of your tiles you have done a line and you think, oh, I shouldn't have done that, it slipped, don't worry about it. It can always be filled with something. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead in those little gaps and fill them. And you see I'm going in with these bubbles, but I'm sort of accentuating them. I'm going round them quite a few times because they're then giving it a heavier line. There we go. And they're sort of showing up, aren't they? Let's see. Okay, get one in there, look. One there. So just going down and adding those in. So we've got this really nice patterned edge. And although this is a pattern we use a lot, and it's actually one of the first ever patterns I think that we've used. Oh, Samantha, is it? Is it not on my website? No. I know I looked at this morning that there are none on the shelf. But if you still want one, then I'll machine some more and I'll add them back to the website. I said machine some more. I'll check with John. We've got the material in, I'm sure we have, because we're machining ready for the next show. Woo! But now I can put a few more on if you still want one. That wreath is just beautiful. There we go. All right. Oh, hi there, everybody. Okay. So I've gone through that quite quickly, but as I said, this is one of the very, very first patterns we did, and it's a swirl with some bubbles in. You could go in and fill the gaps, but today I'm not going to. Oh, thank you. Is that Rohini? Have I pronounced that right? I do hope so. If not, I apologise. But thank you for joining us. Thank you. Okay, so we've got this bit of a stripe going on. Let's then add to that a little bit. And I'm going to take this first bubble here and I'm going to add in there sort of a little bump and colour it in. Look at that. Look, just love it. Look on the black on the orange. That's lovely. And then I'm going to miss a bubble and then I'm going to do the same on this bubble here and fill it in. Okay. Oh, hi Patricia. Oh, it's nice to sort of, you know, not just to see new names, but to see names that have followed me through. It's lovely. You know, and your journal pages that you're producing, wow. They're absolutely brilliant. Really are. I've got to keep up with you. I know. It's not all glamorous, you know, and all just sitting and drawing all day. Does a little bit, doesn't it, Maureen? I'm turning my tile around, you see, look, I've got my bubbles there now. There you are, look. So I'm just going to do the same on this side. There you go, put that bubble in. And you see, I'm just going to go over that wayward line there. It sort of had a life of its own, didn't it? There we go. I do like these bright colours, especially, you know, when you look outside and you're hoping it's bright and it's not. I think this is, it's quite a warm orange as well, isn't it? Really instills that warmth. And I will actually show you, let's just move out a little bit. If I show you the background I've set up, see, look at the background that I've used. So I've just matted and layered, I found some paper, a bit of gold look, and then my black. And you see there, look how that's going to fit on there. So I've sort of already had that bit of a plan. And look, that actually does look a little bit tangly as well, doesn't it? So that's where I'm heading anyway. That's my background. Okay. So I've done my little bubbles all the way down. So let's go on in there. And I'm going to take this first one. I'm going to go a bit bigger so you can see what I'm doing. Let's work on that one. Starting from the centre, I'm going to go up and round, up and round. See, so I've got sort of two little petals there. And the same on that side. All right. And then just throw in a couple of little lines. There we are. So let's do this one then. So up and round and round. So I've got two that side and two that side. And again, you see, it's easy to flick upwards, so coming in from that bubble there. All right. Same again, up and round, up and round. I think starting in the centre there, it just gives it that little bit of uniformity that you might need just to get you going with it. Because if you start here, sometimes you find that you run out and you end up with half a petal on one side. And we don't want that, do we? We want them to be, you know, to look the part. So, absolutely. Another one now. And another one. There we go. Now, you don't have to do the round. You could do a pointy end if you want. So you've got your petal coming up to a point. You know, it changes it up a bit, doesn't it? It gives you variation. But this is quite a nice one to do. I do like those little curves. There we go. So let's have a look at that. Oh, Tracy, that's good. Glad it has arrived. I'm so glad when people say, oh, my wood has arrived. I'm like, relief. Because, of course, through the lockdown, there's so many parcels went missing. It was getting quite alarming. I'm sure eventually they'll find their way. Or they're obviously in some sorting office somewhere. It's really frustrating for both of us, you know, for you that wants your stuff, and for me that's sending it. Because you know you've sent it, and it breaks my heart. Just hope if somebody else has picked it up that they're getting the benefit from it and they've tried it. Oh yeah, obviously need it more than we do. There you go. So just sort of flicking up and putting some lines. Again, you can just put one, you could leave them if you want to. It's nice to have the choice, isn't it? You've got that freedom. You've got the structure of creating the basic shapes. So if you want to change it up and add your own little flair, that's brilliant. I positively encourage it. There you go. All right. Okay, so I wanted it that way, so there we go. So far. Oh, Lindsay, couldn't you get them going with it as well? Visitors on the go. All right, so I've got these little gaps down the side here. Oh, Jodie, I know what you mean. Yeah, you know, and the thing is, with the US orders in Create and Craft, I actually send them to Create and Craft, and then they send them, because obviously America's so large, they have to send it to different places, so it's easier to formulate it all in one place here, and then send them out. So, you know, I make sure, to the best of my ability, that they're all secure. but then you just don't know what goes on, do you, when it's on a plane or wherever it's going. So there you go. So I've just sort of filled the gaps in with little bubbles. Just sort of gives it that end. And we are going to come back and add a few more bits in there later. But for now, I want to sort of start on this section here. So let's go a little bit larger so you can see it. Deep breath. We've got this. You can do it. So you might just want to watch the first one before you sort of jump in there. So I'm going to stick with the pen and I'm going to start. Now again, if you're right-handed, you might want to start this side and do your curl because it's easier for you. But being a lefty, I'm going to start here and I'm going to create quite the curl. Okay. It's all right. Quite large, I know, but I'm going to curl that a bit more. You know, just go for it. Don't try and sort of force it. Just curl, let it go and do its own thing. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to come back round and I'm going to thicken up that section there, you see? And then I'm going to pick it up about here and I'm going to thicken up that bit to where it sort of joins. And then I'm going to pick it up about here and do the same again. You see, so I've got thick and thin in different places there. Okay, so let's add a little one in here. And again, I'm going to have sort of a thicker bit there. And then let's thicken that section up. And then I'm going to put one in here. And then again, just thicken that one. And then let's have a bit thicker there too. Okay. So this one's gone this way. Yeah, oh yeah, Helen, yeah. I mean, this is one I do. I can't remember. There's so many colours now. And I'm hoping to add to the range. But I have done some tiles with different colours. I did a Bordeaux one earlier, not long ago. That was really nice. I've done a lilac one. Done black, of course, grey. And this one, of course, today we're doing orange, and I'm adding in that lovely sand as well. Oh, I have done one with the tobacco brown, and I used a neon pink pen. But, yeah, it's nice to see, isn't it? So, thickening that bit there, and let's go in and add a thicker section there, and there. So again, I'm just going to pick off a couple of little curves, thicken a bit up and then a bit more. So I'm going to squeeze one in here too. So we'll do the swirl first and then just thicken some of the sections up. Okay. So then on this one, I'm going to add another curve in. And then thicken before, and that one, and then around there. Okay. So I'm not going to do anything in this gap for a minute, because I want to sort of do something a bit different. So you see where that's sort of heading. Let's go a little bit larger. So then here, I'm going to add in a little curve, and another, and another, and another. So filling in then, let's colour that one and that one. So I've got a bit of a stripy shape there. Okay, let's turn it this way so you can see where that is. And then just like we did on the border, starting in the centre, I'm just going to come up and round. I can't quite get a full one in there, but up and round. Okay. And then I'm just going to add a single line in there. Oh, hey Bernadette. Oh, Gracie's going to do the moon later. You're going to love it. You're not going to want to put it down. Okay, so let's have a look. We've got this little flower there. So we need a couple of more little sort of crevice type spaces, don't we? So I'm going to put one in here I've formed this. 3, 4, and fill that one. Now yours is going to be a little bit different because obviously your curves are in different places. So you're sort of looking for this V shape. And if you've got one of those, then go ahead and add one of these flowers in there. So again, I'm just going to add one line in those. So another sort of a V. I've got one here, but I'm not going to put one in there. So I could actually create one. So if I'm going to add another swirl there, see, I've then got a space there. So, see, I know it's a little bit wider, but that's fine. I'm not worried about that. I was just looking to find a space to put that little flower in. Oh, Anne-Marie, yay. But you know what the beauty of these, and we keep saying this, is that you can actually keep coming back to it, and you can re-watch it. You can even mute me. You don't have to listen to me rambling on. There we are. And I'm going to put one up in this corner too. See, sometimes you might just do 3 there. You've got to sort of look for almost these little corner shapes that you can sneak one into. There you go. So it's going to go around there and around there, and let's add those lines. Okay. Are you sure, Lindsay? Oh, okay. So yeah, an all-nighter. Yeah. To be honest, the last one I've done, the one I posted this morning, it did take me 3 days. 3 days, yeah, because I did the main image first. So that was what, I don't know, 3 hours, maybe 3 hours. And then over the last 2 evenings, I've done the borders. But that's not like, 24/7. That was, but I have enjoyed it. I have spent a few hours, playing with it and faffing with it. There you go. All right. So, see here where we put these sort of bubbles? I'm just going to go in and add them just to sort of give it a little bit of an edge around those flowers. Look, you don't have to. Again, this is my interpretation, but we're after creating a methodical sort of pattern. We're not worried about the fact that they're flowers. We're just looking for that repetition with the shapes. And the more detail we put in there, the more focused we become. We shouldn't lose that focus and the fact that we are, looking at the mindfulness aspect of it. Yeah, I mentioned putting it onto a card, and that's great, but the whole point of doing this is to relax and everybody chill out. The end result is what will be, as they say. There you go, so just adding another one in there. Just fill in those bubbles in. So there's no rush. There's no. Yeah. Oh, hi, Gillian. Okay, I think in terms of what we're doing there is probably enough. But just to sort of accentuate the fact that let's have some bubbles. Again, you could go in and do these with a white pen if you wanted to. I mean, I've stuck with a black just for now. I might come back later and do a bit of a white pen. So these smaller curves, I'm just going to fill in that space. All right, so I don't want to lose them. So let's just go in and put something. See, I've left the larger ones. I've left them on purpose, but I've just filled in these lighter coloured ones. Okay. All right, let's have a look at that. Okay, so I'm going to turn it on its head now, and you'll see where we've got the larger size here. Oh, have I missed one? Oh, I've got a big one. Oh, yeah, I have. Oh, see, there you go. It was hiding. Thank you. Colour that bit now. Yeah, so I'm going to turn it on its side now, and these little curves that we've been doing, I'm just going to go in and, you know, in certain places, doesn't have to be the same, I'm just going to add in some of them. So this is almost like adding zingers, although we can add zingers as well, or little stems and things. You know, sometimes we do the stem with the bubble on, and it's just giving it that little bit of interest around this size here. So let's go in and put in a zinger. If you don't know what a zinger is, there we go, a zinger. Okay. I've missed a flower. Oh, where? Got flowers. Oh, I have, yes, there we go, bubbles on. Oh, see, I'm thinking on the next bit now, because I do have to plan it. I can't, if I just stop and chill, and then I lose track of what I'm doing. So here we go again, see, thickening up that section and a little bit on that top. This is great, you know, if you have got a bit of a wobbly hand and you think, oh, I can't do these, then you can go back and you can fill bits in, and it looks ace. There you go. See, I'm avoiding putting a zinger in there, as I don't want it all to look exactly the same. Let's have another one, see, a bit bigger. So see, there's no particular plan to where these are going, and I'm not trying to form a pattern with them. I'm just adding a bit of interest along this side. You see there, it's got a bit thick there. Okay, so yeah, we will have another there. So if you've never done a zinger before, here we go. Line with a dot, and then I'm going to aura, almost draw around the dot, and then round again, and then you see each time it gets a little bit smaller, and then smaller and smaller until you're almost just with dots. Look at that. It's quite a large one, isn't it? Let's have a little baby one there, look. There we are. All right. Oh, which way? So just filling in with those little curves. It's amazing how suddenly, you know, you think we just started with a few lines, and now suddenly, look at this. Got our own little piece of artwork going on. Now you have to think, who would you be sending this card to? We're going to put another one in there. It could be anything, couldn't it? It could be birthday, it could be thank you. Anything at all, or just to say, you know, I'm here, thinking about you. Okay, let's have a look at that then. There we go. And of course, because I've put bubbles in here, let's go and add a few. And you notice that they're all sort of slightly different sizes, and I'm not counting how many they are. I'm just adding some in. Even some of them are little dots. And these are great to go in with your gel pens later, or coloured pencils or whatever, and just add a touch of something. But you notice I've left this one completely blank. It's nice to have the contrast. Okay, so I'm just going to move that to one side for a minute now, and I'm going to bring myself or my attention to this one. So I think what I will do, if I can find a piece, here we go. I'm going to put a piece of plain underneath it so you can see, because I'm in boards that slightly colour. There you are, look. Oh, ready for this. Deep breath. My goodness, a tile and a quarter. So I'm going to sort of, don't worry about in the centre or not, but just sort of aim centre-ish. There you are, tiny little dot. You see, that's just going to give me my starting point, because I'm going to go from there. Now, if you want to do this in pencil, please feel free to do it in pencil to start with, just so you get the idea of it. But the best way of doing it is to just go straight in with a pen. But I know some of you like to practice a bit first. So there we go, a bit of a teardrop shape. All right, everybody ready? Everybody with me? That gives me an opportunity to have a quick sip of tea. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take this curve, follow it through, and I'm going to extend it quite a bit. And then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to extend it this way. Looks a bit weird, but bear with me, okay? So I've got that shape. All right. So in the centre bit here, I'm going to go in and add one of those wonderful bubbles. Doesn't matter what size, if it's not quite round, it's fine. Oh, look. I wonder if you guess what it's going to be. Okay, so from this point, sort of give yourself a guide so you know where you're going. I'm gonna end there, and I'll line that up with that one there, so I can do that. Okay, so from here to here, but what I'm gonna do is in a series of steps. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. Okay, turn it round. You see, I've got my mark there, so I'm gonna do the same again. 1, 2, 3. All right, so I've got that shape. Okay, so next bit then is this line here. Let's follow this line around and into there. Oh, it would be, wouldn't it, Anne-Marie? It was difficult choosing colours, actually. So what I actually did is I chose a background first. I thought, well, what have I got in my stash that I quite like the idea of? And I quite liked that paper. So that's what I went with. And then, of course, you know, you pick your coloured tile to match. You see there's that little curl again? So let's thicken that one up and thicken that one up there. And same this way. You see, it's almost like I planned it, isn't it? Putting those little curls on that last one. It is an angel or a butterfly, could be both. If you actually made that a bit longer, or maybe did a little bit of a wobbly edge there, you could end up with a little angel, wouldn't you? So here we go. I'm going to pick this one, and I'm doing it that way. So I'm going inside that way. So I'm doing my swirls, but like inside out. There we go. So that matches in with the border, doesn't it, that we did? And then the same here, look. But see, this way, I went that way. So this way, I'm going to go that way. Oh, that's going to boggle the mind, isn't it? Doing a mirror image swirl back to front, inside out. Okay, there we go. Let's fill that bit there. And same again, I think. So this one I did this way, so follow this round and swirl, and same again, and again. So you're just going to fill your space up. There we go. And I'm going to put those little bubbles in at the ends. I'll get one in there, look. Same on this side. See, this side I did it that way, so that way. There we are. And that way. That way. That way. Then, of course, the body. Let's go in and add those little curved stripes. Remember that we did on the flower not so long ago? Don't make them too sort of far apart, because obviously we want to colour them in. So it's better to sort of colour in a thinner edge than having them a little bit too sort of fat on the edge. Unless you've got a bigger pen, of course, but I'm working with an 02 micron here, so I don't want to make it too wide. There we go. Oh, little sweetheart. There we are, look. And then this section here, I'm just going to fill with lines. I'm not going to do it as a stripe, but you see I'm going from the middle there and following that curve round and just creating some little lines. Same on this, I'm starting from the centre, so you break the space up, but then I'm just going from there, working my way down, and then from this one, working my way across there. Okay, let's have a look at that. Oh, it could be, yeah, it could be a bee, it could be a butterfly. It depends how you colour it, I suppose. And you could add legs, or it could be an angel. But I thought, you know, working with that together with that, so you're getting this bit of a bit going on. Okay. All right, couple of things then now, because obviously shading wise, and I want to do a little bit of coloured pencil on it, but before we do that, I know there's some of you out there, you're seriously avid crafters and you know exactly what you're doing when it comes to working with colour and ink, but I want to show those of you that maybe have not done this before, and I'm going to put a bit of ink around the edges. So you see how I've got a couple of different colours. I've got a Morocco and I've got a bit of a chocolatey colour. So just a couple of ink pads, and I don't really obviously want to get ink on my board, so I've got a plastic bag, or you know, one of the bags with your stencils. You can use any, because a bit of tissue, you can wipe it off after and clean it. So for those people that know what they're doing, please, my apologies. I'm just going to ink round this one, but you know what you're doing, just bear with me for a minute. So look, I'm using a bit of what I like, the cut and dry, but there's so many other ways of using it, and sometimes this, pour it actually on and then wipe it off, but just with keeping it clean. I'm just literally, I've got a little bit of ink on my cut and dry. Now, my cut and dry, I do actually put glycerine in it, only a little bit, because I find that it's easier then to help blend it. But as I say, I know you avid crafters out there, you can, you know what you're doing. And then you see I'm just rubbing it. Now you will notice, because I've got glycerine in it, it will affect the pen a little bit. So all I'm going to do is just work around the edge. And it's not the ink and it's not the pen, it's the glycerine that I've got on my cut and dry. I'm saying that just helps it blend, but if I got a new piece of cut and dry, it wouldn't do it. There we go. So you see, it just gives it a little bit of an edge. There we go. And I'm going to do the same with my little, I'm going to call it butterfly. So again, just a little bit of ink. So this is, you know, if you don't particularly want to colour it, but you want to add colour, this is a right, easy, quick way of doing it. Just be light with your cut and dry though, because, you know, you want to try and help work it in rather than just make it look like lines. You see, I always like the fact it's slightly different colours on each side. I'm going to add a touch of brown. So I'm going to turn my cut and dry around. Just very gently, just round the edge. Okay. Just a quick whiz in with my orange one. And it is literally, I'm not trying to bring it in too much, I'm just touching the edges. Let's have a look at that. There we are. Oh, a little bit there. Let's just blend that in. Oh, have you, June? Oh, I'm ever so glad. I thought, you know, I thought people know, but there are people out there that don't know how to do this. So I didn't want to spend too long doing it, because I know not everybody's into doing this kind of thing. But I just thought it'd be nice to show you that you can actually do something else with it. So let's just have a quick look at that on my background paper and see what's changed. You see now it's sort of not as in your face, is it? And there's my little sort of little bee or butterfly, whatever we want to call it. So, okay, inking over, or anything that's like dirty and out the way now, it's all over. A bit of coloured pencil. So I'm going to choose, I'm going to go with a red, an orange and a yellow. Now I'm trying some new pencils out. Really nice actually, I've given them a bit of a go. There we go, look. They're a Dutch company, but they're affiliated with Sakura. So I'm gonna you know, use these. So they work nice on the cream tiles, of course, and I've got a sample I can show you in a little while. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use red as my darkest and add that either side. Oh, so I do apologise. Where am I? There you go. And the same here. There we are. And a little bit there. I'm not pressing on too much because, you know, I don't want this to sort of turn into a colouring session as such. It's all about the tile, isn't it? Of course, my orange, then I'm just going to work that in. So I'm taking it from the red to the orange. Okay. Of course, if you were going to work with just regular pencil, as we usually do, you'd be putting some pencil in the top corners and then using your tortillon just to smooth it out. But because I'm working with pencils, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to work through those three colours. So they're blended quite nicely, haven't they? And then of course, let's get the white out. Just add a bit of white in there just to bring that highlight up. And again, if you used a coloured tile and just regular pencil, you can use a white chalk pencil, your pastel, just to add that in. Let's have a little look at that. There we go. Alright, now you see where you've got your red, if you want a little bit of darkness, I'm actually going in with purple, I'm going to go in with a bit of blue. I'm just going to add a bit of blue to those edges. There we go. You see, not adding black, just adding blue. And then let's just go back over that with that red. Alright. There we go, so plenty layers, it works well. There we go. You can see that it's just sort of giving that a little bit. We want this to be, you know, the main focal point. So I'm just focusing the colour on this section. So you see, now I'm going back in it with that red and just adding it on those edges. And again, I'm going to be a little bit quicker with this. I know you won't be able to keep up with me with this. I do apologise, but it's just trying to get everything in to sort of show you. So there we go. Adding some of that orange in. So I'm doing exactly the same as I've just done with that first one, but just filling in with these colours. Again, if I'd have used different colours, you know, you'd get a different effect. I could have gone in with, you know, like chocolate browns and things like that. But I chose to go in with something that was going to harmonise. Alright, and in with the yellow. And I've tried them with baby oil. I don't know if you're aware that if you've got certain pencils and you use a bit of baby oil, it will actually help blend them together. You have to try them, different pencils and different makes are different, but these do work with that baby oil. And I've also got some of their pastel pencils as well, and they you could use them just as a pastel, or you can actually use them wet. It's quite nice. But I need to do a bit more work with them just before I make my decision as to whether I like them or not. You have to try them, don't you? Okay. So again, I'm just adding that little bit of blue in. Let's see, just a touch in those top corners. There we go. Just in those little bits there. And then I'm going to go back in and over with the red. There we are. Okay, just little bits, not much. Alright. Add a touch more yellow there, look. Just to brighten that up a bit. See, this sometimes you've got to work your way around and you've got to keep going back in and adding those layers, haven't you? Just to sort of bring it up. There we are. I'm liking that. Okay. So flowers. Let's have a look at our flowers. I'm going to add a touch of. The Decisions purpley colour. A bit of a purpley colour, sort of more of a violet maybe. Let's have a look. And then just the middle ones, I'm just going to add a little bit that bottom edge. See, a little bit in that bottom edge. You see, I'm not even going to try and blend it. I'm going to leave it quite sort of sharp. There we go. Oh, there's one there, look. Because it's already got a touch of colour on there, you know, with the ink. Yeah, that's all it needs. Feather it out a little bit. Okay. Right, let's have a look at my little bee. So, bit of red. And I'm not going to separate colours out here and parts of wings. I'm just going to go in and add the same sort of colours. There he is, look. Oh, let's go a bit bigger so you can see. See, I've not really fussed about a little bit of red. So that's just what I would normally do with the tortillon. But, yeah. And I'm bringing the orange. You see, I'm starting with the darker and just bringing it round into this lighter colour. A little bit there. Now, you know that in the centre there, we want to be leaving it because I'm going to put a nice little white stripe in there. And again, just work it round a little bit. And because we've got, you know, there's pen underneath and we've got the ink around the edges, it doesn't really need much. Just needs a little bit of, just a, you know, a little touch of colour, I think, just to bring them together. Okay, a little bit of yellow, I think. There we go. Oh, I do apologise. See, I'm all off doing my own thing here, and I'm forgetting that I'm on camera, and I keep moving it round. There you go, a little bit of blue. All right. A little bit of red over the top of that one. There you go. All right. So white pen, of course, and straight down the centre. We want that white line. Oh, look at that. But then look at it from a distance. That's what we're after. A little bit of a highlight there. Okay. Oh, Sue, the boards. Let me turn mine over in a minute, and I'll show you. So here I'm going to go in, and I'm just going to add a touch of white on those little dots. Nothing much, and it just sort of, you know, brings it to life, just that little bit, doesn't it? And I'm going to do the same just on the inside, that one there. There we go. You know, as I mentioned before, we've got these little dots. Go in and add some white. Oh, I noticed a flower there, look. No, he didn't tell me. And then, of course, the centres of my flowers. Need that little white stripe as well. There we go. And just a couple little white marks over there. Oh, thank you, Sue. I do try and bring you things that are different. I do say that, don't I? And I know some of them, perhaps I do more organic ones than not. But I always try and give you some structure to work within. Oh, Gracie, yeah. Oh, I know what you mean. It's yeah, if it's something I quite like, then I might even I'm considering stocking them, but obviously I want to try them first, just to make sure they'll do what I want them to do. There we go. Let's have a look at that. All right. So you can see now that we've added this little bit of white. Having a coloured tile doesn't mean you can't put colour onto it. So by adding that bit of ink around the edge, it's really brought the focus into this section here. And then adding in some of this shows that, you know, your colours are where you want your focus to be. There's nothing said that you can't go in, of course, with your pencil. And you see down this section here, now making sure obviously that your white's dry, going in and adding in some pencil, and then tortillon. Oh, dropping my tortillon there, and just going in and adding the shade there. There we go. And we do know that obviously with using the tortillon and the pencil on coloured tiles, it works slightly differently than the cream ones because it's slightly smoother, but still it still works. You know, you've just got to build up your layers. It's worth trying. If you've not tried a coloured tile before, it's worth trying. Give it a go. You're getting a different effect, but it's just nice to break things up a little bit. There we go. See, so you can still go in with your pencil and add in that section there. Okay, so you can see you've got this one, and then I've got my little butterfly. So let's have a look at them all together. So there's my background. There we go. And then, of course, it's nothing without the photo corners. So I've got some black ones here. So I'm just going to Now, you might find that if you slide it in and pull it, you can do it that way. But I quite like taking them off and putting them on. It depends what you like and what you feel like. And of course, you know, use a bit of spray and glitter or spray and shine on them. Oh, hey Bridget. Oh, I'm going to have it that way. And that's going to sort of sit in the middle there. I mean, I could have matted it back onto some more gold, but I think that's plenty enough, isn't it? And then I think a little bit for a foam pad, so I'm not going to put this on now, but looking at my little bee or my butterfly, whichever way you want to work it, you can put wherever, but I quite like the idea because it's got this point and it sort of works there. I'm going to sit it between those two tiles. So you can see that you still got this as the focal point, and then you've got this little sort of thing as the additional extra, haven't you? So it just shows that you can tangle away and you can put them in your journals, which look absolutely brilliant, and say positive and encourage. But now and again you might want to do one as a card and try it a little bit differently. So I have actually done this particular one with a cream tile. So I'm just going to move this one out of the way and I'm going to bring the cream one in. So you see here that it's slightly different colour, but it's the same sort of pattern. You've still got the swirls and you've got the flowers, but I've made the flowers a bit bigger on this. And there you see that you've got your little butterfly. And I did put a piece of just plain white card in the background there. And again, because I've inked this in the green and the blue, I've done exactly the same here, and I've just inked round it with a bit of green and blue. But yeah, it just shows that you can do different things with it. So whether you want to go quite springy and quite light, or whether you want to go a little bit more moody, or whether you actually just want to put it in your journal and you imagine this as a border just going all the way up the side of your page, and then having lots of these dotted around of different sizes going different places. So I think that's just something, again, a little bit different, something for the weekend you can try. That, you know, you think, okay, I'm going to give this a go, and, you know, add a few gems onto it and add a bit of a sentiment maybe. But, yeah, hopefully you've liked that one. Say a little bit different. We've not done as much shading, or not in the normal way. But, yeah, it's quite sweet, isn't it? And it's just another way of looking at tangling as to what can you do with it. So, fingers crossed, all being well, we'll be back here on Monday for yet another one, and that will be, oh my goodness, that will be number 45. My word, 45. But for now, I'm going to leave it there today because, of course, if I need to get everything packed into the post office by 4, then I'm going to have to get my skates on. So thank you ever so much for joining me. Thank you for all your orders and all your support. Really, really do appreciate it. And I hope you've enjoyed that one. So yeah, let me go, and I will see you all. Oh, I did mention. Oh, quick one. Board. How to start, and then I'll go. So looking at your board. Here we go. Look, it's my table. So your board starts life like this, and it looks a bit scary, doesn't it? A bit frightening, and you're like, what to do with it? The first thing you've got to do is look at the grain. So look in here. You see, I've got some bits of grain. You see how they sort of form these like lines, and you've got this odd sort of shape. This is almost like your grid. So what I could do on this one is I could draw here, here, and then I could put some lines in between. And then I could start to even just fill it in, you know, with those swirls we've just done. You see? And then that starts the first point off, doesn't it? There you go. See, I have done it. And then you've got sort of a largest section here. So you see you've got this bit here. And so you could decide that those little curves we've just done, you could fill it with those. So rather than look at the whole board as one thing, look at each section in bits and fill in those little sections. So see, from here you could sort of add in those little balls. You could fill it up with that. And then maybe here that you've got an extra section. So that becomes something else, and that becomes something else. So look at it as, that's very, very quick, I know, but look at it as very simple sections. There is a video from a few months back now that I did start a board and show people how to sort of get started. So if you sort of have a quick look for that, do a search for that, and see what you can find out from there. But take it step at a time, use a pencil, and go with it like that. Okay? All right, sorry about that. I know it was very quick, but I will see you, all being well, on Monday, as said. So have a great weekend. See if you can make a card, have a play with it, try a bit of inking, and I will speak to you soon. All right, everybody, you take care. Bye.